Welcome to Fraud Friday. I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking loan fraud, bankers, public officials, and borrowers who got caught. Today, Delaney, Sexton, Lance Sexton. Hey, bankers, download that certificate for your documentation of training. I'm going to talk about Broward County.
Wow.
A number of deputies have been arrested, have been charged for PPP loan fraud. The highest ranking official, Lieutenant Gonder. Delaney, tell us about him. We have some new information and what's happening in Broward County, Florida.
Well, there's a little bit of background on him. He was earning $260,000 as the executive officer of operation at the Broward County Department of Detention. He was college educated. He owned 7 companies, had a realtor's license, owned 3 properties. He kept busy and he worked hard.
Absolutely.
But he made a decision that probably damaged a lot of that. On January 5th, 2024, he was charged with 2 counts of wire fraud for obtaining $167,000 or $167,750 in PPP loans. So to take it back a couple of years, on April 1st, 2021, he submitted a PPP loan application for EBG properties. He misrepresented the monthly payroll as over $42,000, claimed there was 11 employees, and submitted multiple fraudulent IRS forms 941. That loan ended up being approved, and he received $106,540 for this first loan.
Yeah, the problem with that in 2021, his EBG properties, did he have employees, Delaney?
You know, I was about to say, I'm not 100% sure.
No.
So EBG Properties LLC probably would have been eligible for a PPP loan, but with no employees, he could have based that PPP loan on gross revenue. And of course, there was a maximum when you had no employees of $20,833 that he could have gotten. But he got greedy and decided to dummy up payroll numbers so he could get more money.
And this is a situation, Lance and Delaney, where obviously people talk and people were saying, hey, well, I got free money. I don't have to pay it back. And greed overtakes common sense. In hindsight, Lieutenant Gonder, I'm sure, well, he is very remorseful and he realizes the mistake he made. And because of his redemption through this process, I'll let Delaney talk about his sentence, but that clouds judgment. Lance, you've spent a career in liquidating loans and cleaning up people's bad decisions, and this is one where it's simply greed, Lance.
Bob, we talked about this before the show. I saw my first fraud case in January of 1983 when I was working with the FDIC and worked on a closed bank. And in that case, it was a very smart loan officer who decided that he was going to cross the line and do things. You know, he was dummying up loan applications to get money for personal use. This also appears to be similar. Quite often, fraudsters are very smart, well-educated people.
Well, of course they are. Yeah.
And you know, there's this line in the sand. On one side, you've got ethical behavior. On the other side, you have unethical behavior. And it's tempting to cross that line. And Mr. Gonder, well-educated, great job, $200,000 plus a year. He decided to cross that line, and I'm sure he regrets it right now.
Yeah, and I think you may be a little harsh with ethical, unethical, everything. I've read his character statements and everything on that. This is not an unethical person. This is someone who definitely made a bad decision that did cross the line. Lance and Delaney, we've covered people who are truly unethical. Everything they do is criminal. In this gentleman's situation, that does not appear to be the case, but he did something wrong, and he will pay for it for the rest of his life. Delaney, please continue. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Last comment. Hard part on this, Bob, is Delaney reported that he had multiple businesses. So there's no doubt he could have gotten good, eligible PPP loans for those businesses, but he crossed the line and dummied up payroll documents so he could get more.
And
So
I don't know what the psychology is on this, but a lot of these cases we cover is someone says, hey, I got this, or I can help you get this, and this is free money. Oh, by the way, I may need a kickback of 10, 20, 30%. We've covered cases where they've had to wire $500,000 in a kickback fee. But for some reason, good people rely on criminals and rely on representations. And I guess it's the fear of missing out. Hey, this person must know something I don't know, and they must be smarter than me, and I'm going to go along with the crowd.
oh, I think you're absolutely right, Bob. In 2021, when this second round of PPP was coming out, Delaney and I have talked about this in the past, where there were videos online that's, hey, get your money. Here's how easy it is. So, I mean, there was a lot of encouragement for people to cross that line, Bob. Tons of encouragement. So,
yeah,
but I hate that.
Yeah, and common sense didn't rule decisions as they should.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Delaney. Finish up what happened to him.
I will run through the second loan pretty quickly. 5 days later, he submitted an application for the Impact Center of Broward County. He claimed $24,000 in monthly payroll, 8 employees. Very similar scheme. He was writing checks to family members with the memo line payroll to make it appear that he was paying payroll. After all is said and done, he was sentenced to 5 years of probation and 500 hours of community service. He'll have to pay back the entire loan, an additional $5,500 fine. That's the result.
Delaney and Lance, but what sticks out is he did not get a jail sentence. Several of his colleagues have. One lady just got a jail sentence for 6 months. The difference is she was certainly... first of all, it went to trial, and she was certainly not contrite about her actions. Mr. Gondar was contrite, but I think getting a sentence of probation is amazing, because the bottom line, he not only did he make one bad mistake, Lance, he made 2. He went back to the well.
Well, he made 2, and we've made this point on numerous fraud cases. This guy had an annual salary exceeding $200,000 a year.
And he's in his early 40s.
So tons of earning
potential. So
potential.
another 20 years worth of earning potential. Yeah. Down the drain. Go ahead.
For $168,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, to close it up, Anna, I'm sorry, I've had you cycling through the slides, but she found a quote from Gondar, actually.
Please.
On May 16th, Gondar posted, I am yet grateful for my 22 years of honorable service as a public servant. Nothing can take this experience away.
Thank you for joining us today for Fraud Friday, so you can stop criminals from stealing from your bank.
Have a great
Have
weekend.
a nice weekend.